Hi everybody, welcome back to my channel and welcome back to another review of Love After Lockup, Season 3, Episode 4, Liar, Liar. So we begin with our new couple, Tyrese and Chandra. So we begin with a family gathering that Tyrese is attending, and there's friends there, family there, his kids are there. Now, the last episode, Tyrese said he had 3 kids. This episode, we got to see 2 of them. So we are introduced to his son, little Ty, who's 29, and his daughter, Tyresha, who was 25. And there's also a family friend there, too. I didn't catch his name, though. So he's telling everybody about Chandra. Now, he said before that he told people bits and pieces of Chandra, about his relationship with Chandra, not the full story. I don't know what those bits and pieces are, but it seemed like whatever he said was very, very, very scant, because they didn't even know that she was white. So when he tells them that, she's white, the son reacted to that. He was like, what? She's white? And I guess Tyrese thought that the son was disapproving, and his son was like, no, it doesn't matter that she's white, but you didn't tell us that she was white. Not that it mattered, but you didn't tell us that she was white. And so it seems like there's a lot of information Tyrese hasn't told, which makes me think, is he ashamed of her somehow? Like, I really am I need to know the psychology of people who specifically seek out people who are incarcerated. And I'm beginning to wonder if it's like they believe that they're so afraid of being abandoned that they think that if they hook up with the prisoner would be so grateful that this person took a chance on them, because they probably feel like the odds are already stacked against them from ever really finding true love, because they have this record. And so when they see that someone is interested in them, especially interested in them while they're still incarcerated, the free person is probably thinking they're going to be so grateful that I'm willing to be with them, that they're never going to leave me, and they're going to be under my spell or under my control, for years to come, because I took a chance on them. I didn't have to take a chance. I didn't have to take a chance on them, but I looked past their history, their past, and I proved to them that I was willing to be with them, so they will forever be grateful to me. I'm wondering if that's the reason why a person seeks out someone who's incarcerated. But as soon as that person comes out, because you took a chance on them, they probably think, well, if this person wanted me while I was incarcerated, think of all the other people that might want me, that might look past my past and still want to be with me. So let me go experience some other people too. I don't know. But anyways, I don't know why he wouldn't tell them the full story right away. Like, tell his children and his family the whole story of him and Chandra. But anyways, his kids are concerned about him, because they're like, Dad, we don't want her to take advantage of you. And he gets very defensive and very loud. And he's like, do I look like someone who let someone take advantage of me? So, which tells me that he's probably worried about Chandra taking advantage of him, because there was no need for him to react with that much animation. So the kids are very, and I don't know why he can't see that, your kids are just being really protective of you. They don't hate her. They don't know her to hate her. They just want you to be careful. That's all it is. Relax. I don't understand why the person involved with the felon can't see how other people are viewing this and appreciate that for what it is. You don't have to stop what you're doing, but just acknowledge that they're concerned about you. But they always get so defensive when people are like, is she using you for your money? Is he using you for money? Is he using you for this and for that? And they're like, no, I don't know. I don't understand. But his kids are just worried about him. They love their dad and they want their dad to be careful. That's all that is. Okay, then we go to Christiana and John. She's going to go through with the wedding, y'all. She goes ahead and says yes. I need to, this was a native wedding, so I wonder if he went through with all the paperwork and the marriage license and all of that, because I'm thinking that would have to have been taken care of to make it like an official wedding, an official marriage, I mean. So I don't know about that. But anyways, I want to know if this is like a real legal binding marriage. So they get married. out there on the back of his truck, and now he has to hurry up and take her to her halfway house. So that whole scene, the whole scene with them, is that he's, flying down the highway trying to get her to her halfway house before she's late, because she might end up going back to prison for not being there on time. That might be a violation of her parole. On their way there to the halfway house, she calls her mom, and she puts her mom on speakerphone, and her mom is like, and she tells her mom, I got married. And her mom is like, what? And she's like, I got married. And he's right here. And so John says hi to the mom, and the mom is like, hi. I mean, her mom was really like low key, really no type of inflection in her voice at all. I don't know if her mom had just woken up or what was going on there, but I would have been like, what? You just got what? But her mom was like, what? And then John said hi, and she's like, hi. Anyways, moving on from that. So he's flying down the highway to get her to her halfway house on time. And let me see if there's anything else to say. Oh, stuff is like flying off the truck. He's going so fast down the highway. There's stuff, because he had the whole altar, I guess, in the back of the truck still. I mean, stuff is just flying off the back of his truck. I thought that was hilarious. And I think they ended up getting there on time, but we'll see for sure next week. So, like I said from the previous episode, I'm kind of worried about Christiana and John, because they don't really know each other. And I just thought it was weird that he would practically force her to get married as soon as she gets released. So that's going to be interesting to see how that plays out. And I'm shocked that she said yes. I would have thought she would have been like, John, I love you, I care for you, but let's get to know each other first. Let's kind of take it slow. But she went ahead with it. Next, we have Maurice and Jessica. So they have to go to California. Jessica lives in Las Vegas, and I think he was incarcerated in Las Vegas, or at least in Nevada. So they have to go to California because that's where he's paroled to, in California, but they want the parole transferred to Las Vegas because they're married and they have a home there, and he'll be away from the criminal elements that got him in trouble to begin with. So they, of course, they have their whole entire story ready to try to convince the parole officer or the parole department to have his transfer to Las Vegas. My question is this: why didn't they try to do this while he was still incarcerated? Why didn't she try or he try to change where he was paroled to his wife? Because he's married. Why wouldn't they convince the parole board to have him paroled in Las Vegas where his wife is? It does make sense for him to be paroled where his wife lives. So why are they trying to do all of this after he's released and after he's supposed to report to his PO in California? So they go to California. They drove all the way to California. And I guess they told them that it has to be reviewed and it'll take about 60 days. So he's stuck in LA for at least 60 days to see what the parole board decides, if they're going to allow him to transfer to Las Vegas or not. And when they get back in the car, he basically tells her to keep driving to Las Vegas. Like, he's like, I guess he doesn't care. He just wants to go back to Vegas with her. I think that's what I saw. I'm not sure, but we'll see that in the next episode. If she went ahead and took him back to Las Vegas when he's supposed to be in LA. Then we go to Scott and Lindsay. So Scott's at the airport waiting for his lady love to arrive, to exit off the plane, and she never shows up. So he's calling the prison board, trying to figure out, or the Bureau of Prison, trying to figure out what happened to her. I don't know what time it's about 8 o'clock at night, because the plane was supposed to arrive between 8:13 and 8:30. And so he calls the prison board, the Federal Bureau of Prisons, and they are like, well, we can't give you any information. You have to call back in the morning because it's 8 o'clock at night. I don't know what he thought. Anyways, so she's not there. He doesn't know where she is or what happened or why she wasn't on the plane. He has no way of getting in contact with her. She's not calling him. So he has to call her mom and her daughter and break the news to them that Lindsay wasn't on the plane and that she wasn't going to be coming home that day. So that was a bust. And so he decides to share his meal because he had bought food for her, steak and a cake and whatever else. And so he decides to share the meal with the limo driver. So they're like best buds now. They're sitting there outside the airport eating this delicious meal, and they're commiserating and everything. And the limo driver is like, how do you know she's not scamming you? And he says, well, I know she's not scamming me because she wouldn't scam me if she had, because she brought her daughter and her mom into my life. She brought them into all of this. So I know she's not scamming me because she wouldn't have done that. She wouldn't have put her mom and her daughter in the middle of all of this if it was a scam. So that was kind of a good point. If Lindsay is someone with a heart, yeah, she wouldn't bring her daughter and her mom into this if she was just scamming him for money. Or maybe she doesn't care. Maybe this was part of the scam. Get him all entangled with, I guess, feelings for the mom and the daughter, caring for them. And maybe that is part of the scam to get more money out of him because he's so invested now in her family. I mean, to me, I think that would be the best scam of all. So here we are with Chevelle and Quaylen. So Quaylen comes out. Y'all, when I saw the reunion between Quaylen and Quilandria, his mother, I almost cried. She hadn't seen her boy or hadn't got to see him free in 12 years. Now, I don't know how often she was seeing him while he was in prison, but when he came out and they hugged, I got teary-eyed. It was so emotional. It was so beautiful to see this mother and son reunite like that. And the last time she saw him free, he was 17. And now he is 29. It was just so beautiful. It was so beautiful. The way that she hugged him so hard to see her baby boy. It was such a beautiful reunion. And then, of course, he gives Chevelle a hug and all three of them hug. And his hair was laid. I don't know what kind of hair salon they got going on in prison, but his hair looked really good. Really, really good. I think he has dreadlocks. Yeah, there were dreads. And they were just done so nice and neat and tight. They looked so good. So that's where that ends. The reunion of Chevelle, Quaylen, and Quilandria. So here we are with Destiny and Sean. So Destiny and Sean meet up with Destiny's mom and sister at a restaurant. And they're all sitting there eating. Of course, the mother and the sister are, they're not really feeling this whole relationship. I think they want Destiny to kind of, find herself a little bit before jumping into this relationship and moving in with Sean. While they're sitting there, they're eating. The mom, she doesn't care for him at all. And the sister doesn't either. So they're grilling him. And there's a moment when Destiny and her sister go to the bathroom because Sean had bought clothes for her. And she goes to the bathroom and try to change into them. So now we have just Sean and Destiny's mom. And so they're talking. And Destiny's mom finds out that he's actually 45, not 36. And also that he has 6 children, not just 2. Because that's what he told Destiny, that he only had 2 kids. So she doesn't even know that he's got 6 kids. So he says that he's got 6 kids, and then he says, but they're all from the same woman, as if that's to make it better. It kind of makes it worse because it shows how much history you have with this woman, which would be concerning to the mom. Like, okay, you stayed with someone long enough to have 6 children. How, is that really over? How do you leave a woman that bared 6 children for you? At least if he had multiple baby mamas or multiple mothers for his children, you would be like, okay, he's not really serious about any of these women because he's here, he's there, he's here, he's there. But he stayed long enough with someone to have 6 kids with. So that must have been a pretty intense relationship. How do we know it's really over? How do we know that she's really over you? Y'all have 6 kids. And how do you have time? This is my question. How do you even have time to meet someone, cultivate a whole relationship with someone who's incarcerated, put up $5,000 for her bond, and you've got 6 kids? Where do they do that at, sir? But anyways, so when they come back, when Destiny and her sister come back to the table, you know, she play fights, right? She kind of pretends like she's hitting him or something. And he makes a point about saying, you know, she's so abusive because, you know, she hit me in the car. And the mom said, yeah, that's elder abuse. And so then Destiny was like, well, what do you mean elder abuse? You have to be like in your 50s or something to for it to be qualified as elder abuse. And I'm like, God, you think someone in their 50s is elderly? Okay. So then I think it's revealed that he's actually 45. I think he told her, or her mom told her that he's actually 45. And she was like, wait a minute, you said you were 36. And then Sean says, no, I never told you that I was 36. You assumed I was 36. How does someone assume that you're 36? I mean, they can assume that you're in your 30s. They can assume that you're in your early 30s, mid 30s, late 30s. But how does someone assume a specific number like that unless you told them? And Destiny said, no, I didn't assume anything. You told me you were 36. And that's why she said that he looked older than what she thought when she first saw him after her release, because he lied about his whole entire age. Child, so that's where that stopped. So it stops exactly when Destiny turns to him and asks him how many kids does he have. And boom. We were done. That was the end of that episode. So I can't wait to see what happens in the next episode. So that's my review, and I will see you at the next one. Bye.